Ancient Egypt has long fascinated humans. From recovered artifacts to mysterious findings, the continued exploration of one of history's most iconic eras gives us a constantly increasing insight into the past. So here's 3 mysterious discoveries made in and around the Great Pyramids. The Swivel Door. The Great Pyramid of Giza was said to be constructed over 4,500 years ago, and it had a number of different mechanisms which have fascinated the archaeologists time and time again. The Great Pyramid of Giza had 3 swivel doors, and one of them is believed to have been a 20-ton swivel door. The mechanism of this 20-ton swivel door has surprised researchers, as it's not entirely understood how they achieved this. There are many mysteries related to the pyramids, and some of these have only led to more questions being asked. It's estimated by archaeologists that around 5,000 pyramids may still be existing. The stones that have been used to build these pyramids weigh between 5 and 10 tons, while the largest stones of the pyramid can be found above the king's chamber and weigh between 25 to 80 tons. At first it was believed that the pharaohs forced people to build the pyramids, but later contradictions occurred, and it's now believed that the workers were paid to build the pyramids. This 20-ton swivel door is said to be so well balanced and built that it could be opened from the inside, with researchers estimating that it could be opened with one hand. When the door was closed, it was built in a way that it blended in with the rest of its surroundings and wouldn't have been recognized. It serves its purpose perfectly of being a secret hidden door that can be used in a case of emergency. The door was said to have had 2 parts and being the same color as its surroundings. It's theorized that people were not able to find it until it was opened from the inside. This door has astonished researchers and has been described as being one of their most impressive feats. Another interesting discovery is that of the Serapeum of Saqqara. The Serapeum of Saqqara in Egypt is often considered to be the burial place of the Epistles, a holy representation of God. Other professionals disagree, claiming this is merely speculation. The Epistles were a symbol of a god, believed to be incarnations of a deity. A distinct difference, however, that separates the Epistles from other sacred animals is that they weren't considered to be simply a messenger between a deity and the human population, but rather the Epistles were the earthly manifestations of gods themselves. Some believe that the bulls were specifically incarnations of Ptah, the ancient Egyptian god of craftsmen and architects. Ptah has been represented throughout history through both the Epistles and the Djed pillars. These holy animals were believed to have been buried in the Serapeum of Saqqara. Once an Epistle passed away, it was believed that the gods became immortal, living in the form of an Osiris Apis. The importance of these bulls is reflected in the high importance of this burial site. Worshipping the bulls was a holy experience for many ancient Egyptians. This has been a holy event since the first dynasty in Memphis. A cultural shift occurred, where the Epistles began to be worshipped as genuine gods, and this was much later on during the reign of King Kai's echoes of the Second Dynasty. The sacred burials of the Epistles are estimated to have begun in the 1350s, under the rule of Amenhotep III, the 9th pharaoh of the 18th dynasty. The Serapeum Saqqara can be likened to a maze. Beneath the Serapeum of Saqqara, a series of large stone boxes and sarcophagi supposedly were used to bury the Epistles, and it's reported that they've been found. Each coffin seemingly weighs around 100 tons, with each lid being estimated to be 30 tons. There is currently an ongoing debate amongst scholars regarding how these burial boxes were created, as they were presumably moved without a wheel and crafted using primitive tools. The initial discovery of these sacred tombs was carried out by Strabo, a Greek geographer who travelled to Egypt in 24 AD. The site was then rediscovered in 1850, when researchers and professionals began to question why and how these 24 coffins and sarcophagi were moved to this site at all. Debate and conjecture have been in high volume since the uncovering of these stone boxes. There's some who don't even consider these boxes to be the coffins of sacred bulls at all, as the size is far greater than necessary to contain the bulls. The contents of these sacred temples have been the source of plenty of speculation, theories and research. Professionals have expected these impressive stone boxes to be crafted from limestone, due to the nature of the material being far easier to work with. Much to the surprise of many researchers, the stone used to craft the sarcophagi was rose granite. This adds to the prestige and grandeur of the sacred temples. The expertise and skill in this craft is incredibly precise. Allegedly, if the lid is placed correctly, the coffins become hermetically sealed. The leading question on everyone's mind is if these sarcophagi are designed for the sacred epistles, then why are such complex materials used, as opposed to much simpler, more accessible and more affordable alternatives? The majority of these sacred graves are crafted from rose granite, presumably sourced from the quarry just 800 kilometers from Saqqara. Though a small number of the stone boxes have been identified as being made from diorite, this material is not only difficult to work with, but it's also found at a much greater distance from Saqqara, raising further questions as to why the creators of such impressive artifacts would use these materials that are so difficult to come across. Whilst the arguably most common assumption is that these boxes are sarcophagi, containing the remains of the epistles, there are no traces or evidence of these bulls within the tombs. If the epistles weren't what was tucked away in these grand holy coffins, then what has been hidden in the Serapeum of Saqqara? Uncovered tombs are still being discovered in Egypt. In late 2018, Egypt's Ministry of Antiquities announced the discovery of a new tomb. The tomb, which is located in Saqqara, is said to belong to a royal. This individual served in the 5th dynasty. According to the hieroglyphic inscriptions etched into the stone above the tomb's entrance, he had the titles of a royal supervisor, the sacred boat inspector, and a priest for royal purification. The tomb, which flawlessly retains most of its beautiful properties even after 4,400 years, was discovered by an Egyptian archaeological mission around the Saqqara site, which is a vast rural burial ground in ancient Egypt. The tomb measures around 10 meters in length and 3 meters in height. The sculptures, coloured reliefs and inscriptions can be seen in almost their original state. Ancient Egyptians believed in the importance of family, as it's represented by the objects in the tomb, with some of the things that gave nod to his wife and mother. Other things in the tomb were scenes of labourers completing an assortment of regular errands. There are also statues of him and his family occupying 18 large niches in the tomb, as well as little statues of human figures either erect or sealed closer to the ground in 26 niches. Within the tomb are 5 shafts that archaeologists were able to find. All shafts except one are sealed, and the one that is not sealed is empty. Archaeologists are hoping that the sealed shafts would hold vital information like the sarcophagus of this man, or goods meant for him in the afterlife. Egyptian archaeologists have also uncovered a tomb in April 2019, belonging to an official named Kawi, which also dated back to the 5th dynasty. The inner parts of the walls of the tomb are designed by incredible works of art, and there's gravings that are made with imperial colours, using extraordinary tar and oils that are used in the procedure. So what do you make of these interesting and mysterious discoveries? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.